Hello, hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to our weekly leadership Zoom. We have 2 more days till Thanksgiving, and then we have 1 month until Christmas, and the new year is right around the corner. So I want to just give everybody a shout out right now that it's plugged in. I know that holiday weeks, and months of November and December, it's super easy to check out. So I'm just really proud of all of you guys that make it a point to show up every week, because I think this Zoom rocks. I mean, I really do think it's a great way to get some good tips, but also get motivated and hear someone else's story, and it might resonate with you and it might light a fire. And I think that's what Tuesday Zooms do. So I'm super excited today. I have a phenomenal, awesome, wonderful, amazing human on with me, Krista. And I've got to tell you, you guys are going there's so much to her story that I don't know, but I know a lot of it. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear it, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that can relate. And also it's super inspiring. So, are you unmuted, honey?
I am now.
Here you are. Yay. First of all, thank you for messaging me and saying, I'll do it. And I want to say that really quick before we get started. If you're on today and you have been at 80 or 200K, you don't have to be holding rank. Message me and get on the schedule for a Tuesday, because somebody needs to hear your story. Somebody needs to hear your tips. And it's a great way to step out of your comfort zone. So Krista, I want to thank you for messaging me and stepping out of your comfort zone. And I'm super excited for you to share your story today and to hear your story, because I know some of it, but I don't know all of it. So I'm really excited for people to hear it. And I want to start with, kind of what life looked like before you got into Lavelle, and, how you found Lavelle, and then we'll go from there.
Okie dokie. Just a disclaimer. I'm at my mom's office, so she can watch my tiny terrorist, but she doesn't follow directions well. So she might at any point in time bust in here. So just give me some grace there. But I'm hoping that it goes well. So it's been a while since I have shared my story. So I'm like super nervous for some reason. And I usually don't get nervous. So this is good for me, because I need to start doing the do again, and you'll hear in my story, like what's going on. But anyways, so my name is Krista Purdie. My formerly Krista Turner. I just got married earlier this year. So life before Thrive. So my story is going to be, I'm going to be as raw and real as I can. So I just kind of maybe want to give I'm not going to get too in detail, but some trigger warnings. I am a recovering addict. I'm going to share just a little bit about that, but I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there before I get started. Okay. So my name is Krista Purdie. I have been thriving since the end of April in 2019. So I had just reached my 1 year clean. So I am going into my 4th year clean. So that's super exciting. But I was a single mom. And I was just learning how to live life as an adult. I had my daughter when I was 30 years old, and just coming out of my active addiction, which lasted over a decade. So I had spent most of my teenage years and my adult life in active addiction, in and out of jail, in prison. I spent 4 years in prison. So I have a pretty nasty past, and I had a horrible reputation, and I just had never adulted before. I was never a functioning member of society. Like I said, I had a horrible reputation. My credit score was crap, like everything. I had ruined everything. And that's why I didn't turn my life around for so long, because I felt like, what was the point, right? Because I had just messed everything up so bad. But that was just a lie that I told myself, right? So that's why I try to share my story today, because anything is possible. You can change your life no matter what your past looks like. I feel like I have one of the worst past, and I have completely turned it over like 100%. So when Thrive found me, I was a little over a year clean, and I was a single mom to my daughter, and we were struggling. We were on whatever, welfare assistance that we could get. I wasn't able to work because I wasn't able to put her in daycare. I had no family support. I had no friends. Like, it was a very like lonely solitude. Like, I lived like a hermit in my house. It was very hard on my mental health. And I spent some time on social media, and I was already sharing my addiction and my recovery journey. So I had built up a little bit of a network on social media beforehand. But I saw my friend Kayla Rose Oliver sharing about Thrive, and we had connected through recovery groups and stuff. But I saw her, and I watched her for so long, you guys, because I just thought she was full of crap, and I was so manipulative my whole life in my active addiction. So I thought she was just trying to get over on me, because that was my mindset for so long. But thank God I had an open mind. So yeah, it was a struggle. I was not doing anything with my life. I didn't have any motivation to do anything. I was struggling with energy. I was parenting from the couch. I was doing the bare minimum. I felt so lost in life. Like, I didn't know what to do. Didn't know which direction to go in. I couldn't get like a good job. Like, I was going to go because of my past and my background. Like, I couldn't go and just like work at, nothing against like minimum wage jobs, but like I couldn't go and do that because then I would just be paying for daycare and then we wouldn't have anywhere to live. Like, it was such a struggle for me in the beginning. It like just survival mode day to day. And I had never taken care of my body. So I was so damn tired all the time. So that's where I was. That's where I was before Thrive. So I was desperate, but I still watched Kayla for like 4 months and didn't believe this whole Thrive mumbo jumbo as I was watching her dance around with her 3 kids in the kitchen every morning with her sticker on. I really thought she was just trying to sell me on something, but yeah. Do you want me to go into that? Or, I mean, life was just miserable and desperate and very hard before my Thrive journey began. But Thrive really changed everything. So
yeah, I think it was you. Didn't you tell me you lived in your car?
Yes, that actually was sort of recent. So my story is like it's full of ups and downs and like, but never giving up, right? So yeah, like when I started this, I was living in a trailer that I had, thank God, found though, so I could have a roof over me and my daughter's head. But it was so old and it was full of bugs and mice. And it was just, we were trying to make it, like I said, we were in survival mode. And, but I was determined to not go back to the life that I had lived for so many years, because I was living in literal hell. And I had got a taste of recovery and how beautiful life could be. And my daughter, I had a reason to fight and to stay clean. So yeah, I finally told Kayla, I was like, look, I need to try this. Like, let me just try this. Let me see if like what it's about. Cause if it does work, like I need it. So she did. She sent me, I think a 3 or a 6 day mini experience. Sonia Lampre sent it for me because she's here in the States with me. And I was so excited. I was so skeptical, but I was so excited to go to bed early that night and wake up in the morning and do those 3 steps. And I was a huge coffee drinker beforehand. And so I was super nervous about giving up coffee. But I haven't had coffee since I started Thriving. So that's a huge deal for me. I woke up day one. I was a day one thriver, like, thank the Lord, because I probably wouldn't have stuck with it. I probably wouldn't have given it a chance if I didn't feel that difference. But I have to like share, that's why I always pull like people in that aren't day one thrivers, because not everybody is, not everybody relates to my day one. But it was just such a mind blowing thing for me. I like woke up and I just felt so much better. Like I used to take, like my daughter was like 6 months old at the time, when I first started thriving, and I would take naps with her. Like at that age, she was taking like what, two naps a day, 2 or 3 naps a day. However many naps she was taking, I was taking them with her. And then I was sitting on the couch all day, like watching TV, like woe is me kind of thing. Just didn't have the energy to push for anything, for a better anything. I was just, it was horrible. So these 3 steps got in my system, and I just felt alive. Like the colors were brighter. I was like, I had some hope. Like there was like a sparkle in my eye. Like I had some hope. Like, oh my gosh, like I feel better. Like I want to go out. I want to actually leave the house. I want to take my daughter and like go see the world now. It was that intense for me. I was just, it has been such a blessing in my life. So Kayla was like, all right, like you already tell me like what you're going through, like how you're not able to pay your rent, like how the struggles that you're going through, like, let's go ahead and hit that promoter button, because I already told, like, I have to share this with everybody. So I already told her that. So she's like, then do it. Hit the promoter button. Let's get you thriving for free. And let's get you that first bonus. Like, let's get that $500 in your bank account. Like, let's do that. So that's what I did. I, as soon as I felt these 3 steps and what they were going to do for my life, I just saw the vision, right? I was like, I want what Kayla had. Kayla had just hit 200K. And I saw the big vision right from then. I was like, what else am I going to do? Like, I have, like, my background was so bad, guys. I'm just going to be honest. I have 23 felonies. Okay. I have 23 felonies. So my back is, it doesn't matter. Like when you're going to do things or going to rent a home or anything, people just, they don't want to hear your story. They just look at what's on paper, right? So I had a lot of obstacles against me. And so I was like, you know what? Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this business. And so I saw the vision. I was like, I'm going all the way and I'm going to take as many people with me as I possibly can. And so that's been, dog scratching at the door. So that's been my vision since the day I started. Now, just because that was my vision, is that the way that it happened? No. There has been many ups and downs. I don't know which direction you want me to take this in, Lisa.
Well, first, I guess let's talk about like how it went. You came in, kind of how your business went, as far as how long it took to go 4K, 12K, that type of thing. And then we'll go into like setbacks and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So when I hit that promoter button, I actually had some self-doubt hit me. And I didn't run right away. I probably jumped the gun on hitting the promoter button before I was ready. And I sat on it for a little bit. Because I had already built up a network, like a social media platform sharing my addiction and my recovery story, single parenting, that kind of thing, just the struggles, and then how I was overcoming them. That's what I built my platform on. So I was really nervous to share, because I was like, that self-doubt creeps in, and that garbage that our brain feeds us like every single day. Like, I don't care how far you get in this business, your brain is going to continue to like try to keep you safe and keep you in your comfort zone. So it's going to just feed you these garbage thoughts all the time. So it's super important to keep taking out that trash every single day. But that's what my brain was feeding me, all this stuff. Like, people are going to not want to follow your journey anymore because they're going to think you're just trying to sell them something, or people aren't gonna, I'd had all these crazy thoughts. So I didn't start, as soon as I hit the promoter button, I didn't start sharing right away. But then I really did some deep self-inventory, and I already knew like what Thrive was doing for my life and how it was improving my day-to-day life, how much better I was feeling. I knew I was being a better mom. I knew that I finally had the energy and the motivation to actually like want to do things for my future. And so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to keep this to myself. If people aren't going to support me, then that's fine. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't need, if they're not going to support me, then I don't need them in my life, right? They're not going to pay my bills. They're not going to keep me and my daughter off like the streets. Like, I have to do what I need to do for me and my family, and to share this with other people. So I finally did it. And I finally started sharing, and I was getting many experiences out left and right. I did not hit VIP 1600, but I did hit VIP 800 because like I said, I waited too long before I started sharing. So if you're just starting this thing, if like you're just right into your VIP period, like go for it. Like, don't wait. Don't let yourself hold yourself back. Just get those like garbage thoughts, and just get those garbage thoughts out of there, because that's your brain's just trying to keep you safe and in your comfort zone. We got to just like push right past that. So I hit VIP 800, and that was my aha moment, really, because I had never made any money by myself yet, like a legit legally put that out there. So this was a new thing for me, and it gave me such a sense of it, like empowerment. Like, I did that. And that Tuesday, that bonus hit my bank account, and it was just crazy, because we had spent so much of our time standing in line at food banks, because again, with my felonies, I'm personally not allowed to get government assistance, but I was able to get it for my daughter. The system. So we were still living on the bare minimum. So we were in the line at food banks, and just really eating like hot dogs and bread for the buns and stuff. So to be able to take that bonus and go to the grocery store and not have to like have my phone calculator out, like going through the grocery store, like trying to figure out like what I can afford and what I'm going to have to, and getting to the register and still being like having to put stuff back and picking like, oh my God, like what am I going to have to put back? People like waiting behind you and stuff. So that's the first thing that I did with that bonus, is I went and got so many freaking groceries. We got all the junk food and all the snacks, and I went crazy with that bonus. Probably not super responsible, but I was excited about it. So that was the big thing. I was like, this is possible. And I'm going to run with it. Like, I was super skeptical. I was like, is this a type of thing? Like, only the top of the top are going to actually make income that you can make a living off of, that this can be my full-time job. I was super skeptical until that VIP 800 bonus hit my bank account, and I saw it. I saw the vision. I was like, I'm not stopping. Right. So I hit 4K in my first 30 days. And then it was with the iPad mini bonus. And so, yeah, 4K in my first 30 days. And I was so excited to be a leader. Like you hear Lisa and everybody say all the time, like rank doesn't make you a leader. You can be a leader at any point in time. Like, you can share. It's a mindset. It's a mindset for sure. So I was like messaging Kayla. I'm like, can I just like share some stuff in the team page? Like, I'm ready to like put myself out there and get out there. I just put myself out. I was scared to death. I go back and look at the videos that I created 2 years ago, and I look like a baby. I don't even know like what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm out there doing it, and I'm excited about it. And that's how I grew. By just like feeding myself knowledge. And this is the only thing that I have done since the day that I started thriving, because I fully believe in this company and in these products. So, but it hasn't been, like I said, it's taken a little while. So I hit the 4K in my first 30 days. And then I just kept pushing and sharing and getting many experiences out. And the people that joined me right in the beginning, I made mistakes because I had never done network marketing before. I had never really had a job in my life before. So it was all new to me, like just being like organized and customer retention, and all of that was new to me. And I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. I was like focused on getting the orders and hitting goals. And I've changed that mindset throughout this journey. where I have to each person that decides to trust me to try Thrive or to join my team, I have to make sure that I'm giving them that love and attention and focus that they deserve, because they trusted me, right? In the beginning, I didn't do that right away. And I lost a lot of my customers and I lost a lot of my promoters. So it took a little bit longer to get to 12K. I think, let's see, April, May, June, 6 or 7 months, and I hit 12K. It was a learning experience. It definitely was. And it's trial and error sometimes, right? But we don't get there without making those mistakes. I feel like mistakes and failures, I hate that word, but kind of fail your way to success and make those mistakes so you know not what not to do and how to teach your team as people are joining you. Like, it's okay to make mistakes, and nobody knows exactly what we're supposed to do. Like, we all came into this, most of us came into this not knowing anything. So ask the questions, reach out, reach up, reach to the side, reach anywhere that you can. Like I said, I joined under a 200K. Kayla is my personal enroller. And so she was super busy. She was a new 200K, right? So she had a lot of people on her team. So I had to figure out a lot of things like on my own and just do. So yeah, it took me about 6 or 7 months to hit 12K, and that was during a bonus season. So I earned the 12K rank advancement bonus, and that changed my entire life. At that point, I was able to have a full-time income from home. And I was so excited when social services sent me a letter in the mail to recertify for my daughter's food stamps, and I didn't have to send it back in. That was huge. And that was huge for like my character building too, because I could have just said I hadn't filed taxes or anything yet. So the old me would have been like, oh, I'm going to keep getting this, right? But I was so excited to grow, not only like financially, but like as a person in this business, because we do so much personal development. And that's what I love about this industry and about this company, is we get to just pour into ourselves, into others, like every single day. And so to be able to do that was really big for me. So yeah, 7 months, it took me 6, 7 months, it took me to hit 12K. But that was really scary for me because I hit 12K. Like, I went from the month before I hit 12K, because I had doubted myself and I was like, I'm not moving as fast as I would like to. Am I going to have to really go out and get a real job? I went from the month before, I think I had finished at like 2K in volume, maybe. And I sat there and I really, really did some deep self-inventory. Like, this is the point in your life where you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to stick with this and give it your all? Or like, we have to make sure that we're keeping food on the table and a roof over our heads. So like, what are you going to do? I had this conversation with myself because, like I said, I didn't have any family. I didn't have any friends. It was just me and my daughter. So I had a lot of conversations with myself in the mirror. And so I decided, I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I know I'm going to help so many people, and I know I'm going to change my entire life and the life of my kids and our entire future. So I put the pedal to the metal and ran with it. And then I hit 12K that next month. So I finished the previous month at 2,000 in volume, and then hit 12K that next month. And that was scary because then I was an actual leader and I had people on my team and I was super overwhelmed, and I checked out. Because I had people that were looking to me for advice and I didn't know what to do. I had never had a team before. I had spent so much time on trying to do all the things at once. That's where I messed up. I was trying to be a leader and run things before I hit that first rank, and I wasn't really focusing on getting people on Thrive, which I think is super important for 4Ks and 12Ks, is to solely focus on getting people on Thrive and loving on your customers, and then connecting your team with uplines and sidelines and just focusing on that ground business work of like getting people on Thrive and really setting your habits in place of like how you're organizing your customers and the people that you're talking to. I think that is so important, and what I wish I would have done in the beginning, but I'm kind of glad that it went the way that it did, because now I know how to be a better leader because I made those mistakes, and I know how to teach my team better now of like what not to do. Like I said, I checked out as soon as I hit 12K for like that next month. I was terrified. That's where I'm saying like self-doubt is always going to be there. Like, but we have to make sure that we're continuing to pour into ourselves, because you can do all things. Like if I can do this, anybody can do this. So that's why that personal development and self-development is super duper important. I always do this. I lose my train of thought. I'm super squirrel all the time. Damn, I don't even know what I was saying, y'all. I will check out so damn quick. My freaking thought will leave my head. I don't know what the hell I was talking about, Lisa.
It's okay. I do it all the time.
I know I was going somewhere with it.
My kids think I'm crazy. So you got to 12K, then you kind of checked out, and then what happened from there?
Okay, so I checked out and I wasn't connecting with anybody. I just kept it to myself. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do this. Like I have people that need me right now, and I feel like I'm not going to be enough. I feel like people have goals. People are wanting to change their lives the same way that mine was changed. Like, how am I going to deliver that? Like I had all these crazy thoughts in my head. And instead of reaching out to Kayla or Sonia or anybody, I didn't reach out. And that's what hurt me in the end were self-sabotage, really, right? It was self-sabotage. And so finally I was like, look, I need help. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't like how do I help my team? Right. And thankfully, I did reach out, and that was my favorite thing. And it still is now about this company is the community. I know that you always hear like different leaders and people talking about the community because it's a real thing. Like I said, I didn't have any family or friends, and Lavelle and Thrive became my family and my support system. And I know like I didn't have any support at home. So I made sure that I stuck with what I knew. And that's what I knew. I knew that when people were coming into this, they weren't always going to have like support from their spouse or their family or, whoever in their lives. So we had to be that support for them. So I have made sure that my team has that family aspect and that support system, to where they can just be open and share the things that they're going through, because we don't stay stuck in we try, it happens because we're human beings. We try not to stay stuck in negativity. We can bitch for a few minutes and get it out. And then we stay in the solution. We try to stay in the solution because we're always trying to grow. Right. So yeah, I reached out. I stopped self-sabotaging and keeping these thoughts to myself and thinking I wasn't good enough or thinking I wasn't going to be a good enough leader. All those garbage thoughts that we feed ourselves. Sorry, I need this chat was distracting for a second. So I just decided, and I reached out and I got help. That's what your uplines are for. That's what your sidelines are for. Even people that are not even on your team that don't affect each other's trackers. I always think that that's the best, really. The best accountability partners are people that don't affect your trackers, that's just me personally. So yeah, I held my 12K rank. I've never lost 12K. Thank the Lord, because I love my auto bonus. That was a huge deal for me and my daughter, that extra, because I didn't have a car then, or I had a busted down van. So I didn't have to pay a car payment. So that extra $300 a month was huge for us. That was food in the refrigerator, that was paying my light bill, that was putting money to the side to get out of our bug infested trailer. Right. That 12K rank and that auto bonus completely changed our lives and gave me the vision that I needed to keep running and keep pushing. But I stayed at 12K, and I had to really do some learning and focus on training and focus on getting people on Thrive. Because like I said, not the people that started with me aren't the people that are with me right now. I lost those promoters that signed with me in the beginning because I wasn't focusing on the right things. I wasn't focusing on the individual, and I wasn't the customers that were signing with me. I'm going to be honest, like I was so worried about, getting that order and hitting my goal that I was losing focus of my why, like why I started this in the first place. I started this to help other people. I started this so like I could change my life, my daughter's life. I had to get grounded back in my why, because I just got so stuck on the numbers. And that's what really messed me up. I always have to, this is a huge thing for me, you guys. I write down my why like every 30 days, because our whys are going to change, right? As we reach different goals and we meet new people, our whys are going to change. So I don't have sit there and think, I have to pen to paper, write down my why, dive deep. Like at first I was like, I have to live. I have to put food in the refrigerator. I have to make sure that we're not starving. I have to make sure that we have a warm bed to sleep in. That was my why in the beginning. That's not my why today. So, of course I need to keep those things, but it's not as drastic as it was in the beginning. So to really keep your why in the forefront of your mind, and refocus on it as often as you need to. If you feel yourself drifting away from your why and why you started this business and how much Thrive, go back to when you first started Thrive. And that's what we've been doing this week on my team is, there was a person on my team, Brittany Ansel, she started sharing in our chat post from when she first started Thriving and sharing her excitement, like how excited we were in those first few posts, and sharing other people's Thrive experiences and tagging our customers and shouting out their goals and their wins. Cause we've kind of lost sight. So that was huge. Like going back to the beginning, don't forget what Thrive has done for you, because life happens, right? We get sidetracked sometimes, and we have to give ourselves grace there though, for sure. So just really, really zoning in on your why and always going back to the beginning and remembering why you started in the first place, and remembering that excitement that you had as a day 1 thriver, day 3 thriver, day 10 thriver. Just going back to that has been really, really huge. Okay. So yeah, I stayed at 12K, and then I didn't hit 40K so I hit 12K in October of 2019. And I kept that rank. I did keep 12K. And I kept pushing. And like I said, this has been the only thing that I have done since I started. So I kept pushing, and there's been, like in any business, there's going to be ups and downs. It's not always going to be like an uphill climb, right? You're going to see dips, and there's going to be high highs and low lows sometimes, but you have to stick with it. You have to believe in this company, and you have to believe in these products, and you have to believe in the people that you're working alongside. And if you feel yourself kind of drifting away or not feeling so great mentally, let somebody know, we're in the business of solving problems, right? We can solve some problems here, and we lift each other up, and we try to stay in the solution, because we want everybody to succeed. We want everybody to win. So that's what I did. Sorry, there's a whole bunch of people outside the door and got me distracted. Super ADD. Okay, so it took me, I think I hit 40K. I don't even know what month. It was in 2020. I believe it was maybe March or something of 2020. I hit 40K, and I did, y'all, that was crazy. That was crazy. It's a kind of a big jump from 12K to 40K, but I had put in those steps where I had gotten overwhelmed at 12K of having a team. I had really focused on getting things organized. I can't say this enough, because this is where I messed up so badly, is not being organized. I don't care if you have like a 5-subject notebook, or if you're more digital, like organize things on the computer. I am not good at doing like spreadsheets and stuff. So I like to have my 5-subject notebook. Now I have a whole Thrive binder with like page protectors and sections and stuff. Whatever works for you. It's not the funnest thing to do. Sometimes it can be tedious work. But if you like are in this and you want this, get organized. I procrastinate so bad. I'm probably one of the world's worst procrastinators, and I hate organizing, and I don't like doing those things, but I do it now because I didn't do it in the beginning. And you can't like rely on like Messenger to keep things organized for you, like write things down or type it down or whatever. That's like one of the biggest, like I will say that over and over again, get your butt organized. Make sure that you're writing down people that you're having conversations with, or those new people that you're adding to your network on social media. Or if you met somebody at the grocery store and they asked about your sticker, write that stuff down. It'll make you grow so much faster, and it implements amazing habits that you're able to share with your team if they're staying organized right from the very beginning. So yeah, okay, so 40K in like March or so, and then I stayed at 40K. And well, I didn't stay at 40K. I lost 40K a couple of times, and dipped up and down between like 20K and 40K some months. But that was okay, because I stuck with it. I stuck with it. And I knew, like, I had already been there. I had already seen the amazing things that this company has done. Like, I started going on lifestyle getaways. That was huge. Like, I had never had a passport before this company. I didn't even know if I was allowed to have a passport. And thank God I was, because I think Riviera Maya was my first lifestyle getaway. And that was crazy. I'd never been out of the country, except when I was like super young. I had never been out of the country before. This is somebody that spent almost 15 years of my life in active addiction. I was homeless for like 8 years. Like that, my life was like out of a movie. Okay. It was horrible. And I was stuck there for a really, really long time. And I never experienced like the beautiful things that this world has to offer. And I came into this business and it changed every single aspect of my life. I got a freaking passport and am going on free vacations to Mexico and getting paid while I'm there. Like, that's insane. And I finally went earlier this year and finally took advantage of my auto bonus. And now I drive a brand new Cadillac. And that is freaking, I was scared. I was scared to go get that luxury vehicle, because I was like, there's got to be a catch. Like, I'm gonna have to pay for something, or I'm gonna lose rank and they're gonna take my car. So I waited for a while, but I never lost my auto bonus. And I finally went and got a Cadillac right before I had my heart surgery this year. So that was huge. So being able to go on these lifestyle getaways and drive a luxury vehicle, and somebody that, like I said, 23 felonies, spent 4 years in prison. I was homeless for 8 years, like horrible reputation. If I can do this, anybody can do this. Like, there's going to be ups and downs and crazy things. And self-sabotage, that's just going to happen because we have a human brain. But you just have to recognize it and anticipate it and notice it and stay in the solution. Like, find some really healthy habits for yourself, and make sure that you are your biggest cheerleader. Like, even if you have to stand in the freaking mirror every single morning, and even if you don't believe it yet, you freaking say some affirmations, and you say your goals, your affirmations in the mirror to yourself. Like, I've had to do that on so many days, or standing in the shower, like crying, like, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I suck kind of thing. Like, I have self-sabotaged so bad, but I just repeat these affirmations to myself over and over and over again. And I listen to self-development material, and I feed myself myself this stuff. So when these times happen in my life, I'm able to pull myself out of it. I'm able to get into the solution. You know, I can be like on my pity pot for a little bit because it's healing for me to cry for a little bit, maybe a day, and stay on the couch or in bed. But then I make it a point to pull myself out, because if I don't, I'll stay stuck there. And the people that do rely on me and my team and my customers, I have to show up, and I have to show up for my family, right? But most important, show up for myself, because if I don't have my peace, then I can't show up for anybody else, right? So that's been a huge part. Self-development is the biggest part of my journey, So I don't know. I know I'm rambling. I'm all over the place, Lisa. I know I do that. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So let's talk about it's tough times, stuff you've run into. Because I mean, obviously, success isn't a straight line. We go up, we go down. Sometimes we lose rank. Sometimes we lose team members. Sometimes we just lose ourselves. Like, what are some of the things that have happened since you got to your highest rank, and just stuff.
Okay, so this past rank advancement bonus season earlier this year, which was a crazy bonus season. If you were here for that, that was insane. One of our biggest bonus seasons. I hit 80K, and so that was. I don't know if we're on the Zoom for $80,000 bonus. And that was freaking insane for me, to come from where I started, to hit 80K and earn, an 80K rank advancement bonus was, that was mind freaking blowing. Like, how is this that first bonus check? Oh my gosh. Bonuses aren't everything now. Bonuses come and go, because I'm about to tell you that they come and go. But they're still life changing when they're there. They really are. And it was actually, I hit it a month and a half before I was scheduled to go in for open heart surgery, for prior damage I did to my body during my active addiction. I was finally at a place in my life. I'd waited and put the surgery off because I was like, who's going to take care of my daughter? I can't afford to pay any bills. Like, how am I going to do this? That was a part of my why too. I need to get this heart surgery done. Like, this has to be done. And so Lavelle gave me the opportunity to be able to take care of my family during that time. So that was huge. So yeah, I hit 80K in April of this year. And I have an amazing team that we were preparing for me to be out for my heart surgery, because I had to have my tricuspid valve replaced. So this was like straight down the sternum, open you wide open. Like, it was intense, and my first surgery ever. Like, go big or go home. So we were preparing for that, and I have an amazing team that stepped up and they're just so amazing. So we were able to maintain our 80K team for May and June. I had heart surgery on June 8th. In July, and then I lost it, and I haven't got it back. But all right, let's get into that. Okay. So it was hard. I mean, obviously I just went through like a life-altering surgery, right? And then we had some complications during it. And I also had to have a pacemaker. So I'm immortal pretty much. But it was a shell shock to my family and my life. And so you have to anticipate, like, life things are going to happen. Right. And I was kind of devastated that I lost that rank. I was like, this was going to change my whole future for my kids, and, just get us set up and finally buy a house. And I had all these plans for this bonus that didn't get to happen yet, because I was physically unable to show up, and I went through a tough time mentally, and then I had some problems in my personal life, and it quickly turned around to just being me and my daughter. Again, we were living with family during my heart surgery, and it quickly turned to being me and my daughter again. And I was in a spot where me and my daughter were living out of my car again. This was just a few months ago, you guys. So I'm trying to make this as not detailed as possible, but still getting my point across. So let me get my thoughts together real quick. Okay. So like I said, life, it doesn't like matter like what your situation is or whatever. Life can happen, and it's okay. Like I really had to give myself grace and really ground myself in my why again, and remember, like I knew like I was gonna quit. Like I was at a point, like I was like, I feel like what is the point? Like those garbage thoughts, that trash that our brain tries to feed us, I got sucked into it again, and I almost quit this business. And I was like, I can't go back up. I almost went down 2 ranks from 80K to 12K. And I stopped working. Like I let those damaging, self-sabotaging thoughts infiltrate like the structure that I had made with that self-development. I let it it's so easy for those things to happen. And it's so easy for life to happen. So that's why it's super duper important. I can't stress this enough, for like that self-development and making sure that you are locking arms with the amazing community that we have here. Because every time that I try to self-sabotage and break away from the community or stop doing the do, I always have somebody in my inbox saying, girl, like get yourself together. You already know what this is going to do for your life. Like you already know what you're capable of. Like you've been on your pity pot for too long. Like it's time to get back to work. So, and that's real love to me. That is a real friendship to me, not somebody that's going to keep me down or, you know, like say, I mean, yeah, you've really been through it. It's all right. Like, I mean, yeah, we need to feel and heal and all that. But I want somebody behind me, like pushing me to get back, like on my game, right? That's to me, like that is what I thrive off of. Like, tell me like I need to get my shit together, right? So that's really, thanks guys. Sorry, I just like looking over at the chat. You guys are amazing. So yeah, that's really what it is for me is people that and I've tried to be that kind of leader, like be sensitive to the things that people have going on in life, and but really like bringing out the best in people and helping people recognize their greatness, because we all have it within us, right? So like I said, I had went through this this point where I was going to give up and I was self-sabotaging and gonna just say F it all. And then I had this amazing community come and back me up, and I have people that are on my team. Like we just had an 80K team. Like I have lives to change. Like we have something so amazing with Thrive, and this business model is insane. So I decided again, like I've gone through so many ups and downs in this business, but I never freaking give up. And I tell my team this all the time. There is no way that you can fail in this unless you give up or you're just not doing anything. But if you're showing up and you stay on the course, some days are going to be better than others. Obviously, like life is going to happen, but you don't give up and you do the do, like there's no way that you can fail. There really isn't, but you have to be honest with yourself. Like I know I'm not doing all the things even right now. And even at my peak, I wasn't doing all the things. There's always more that we can be doing. There's always room that we can grow. Like we are never going to know all the things. Like we need to stay in communication and learn things every single day. But if you just got to keep going, and doing the things that, you know, the amazing duplicatable system that we have here in this business. It's simple. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, it's work, right? But it's super simple. It's laid out. It's duplicatable. We just got to get people on Thrive, get them connected to this community, get them connected to the amazing training that's out there, these amazing Zooms. Like, it's just a system that we just got to keep rolling with it. Don't try to recreate the wheel. I hear that all the time. Don't try to recreate the wheel. We have something amazing here. We just got to keep pushing through the ups and downs, and it's not always going to be perfect. And give yourself grace when it's not perfect. Then focus on a different area of your business. Focus on growing your network on social media. Focus on getting out in the world, and doing things. Like, that's where I get stuck. I'm like, oh, like, I can't figure out what to post online. Okay, well, go out and freaking go to the park or the museum, or like, get out. That's content right there. Like, that's my lifestyle post. Like, get out in the world. Like, there's just always so many things that we could be doing to grow ourselves and our business. You just gotta fucking keep going. Excuse my language. Okay.
You know, I have to tell you, I am so proud of you, because there are people on our team in this company that haven't even been through a quarter of the things that you've gone through, and they give up the first roadblock. Like, they're done. And you just had heart surgery. You like, instead of backing in a corner, you message me and say, I want to do the Zoom. Like, there's choices, and people are faced with them every day. And every time anyone on here thinks life is hard, or this happened or that happened, like, know that there is somebody else that has a story that has a more difficult road than you, and they are making it happen. They are showing up. They're still doing it. And I wanted to ask you, because we are coming up on the top of the hour, just a couple questions about how you build your business, as far as like networking. What is your basic way of getting new people to, friend request? And are you mostly Instagram, Facebook? Do you work in groups? Like, what is your jam as far as adding to your network? Because at the end of the day, we can get on all the Zooms in the world, and we can show up on our Facebook page and our Instagram, but if we aren't getting new connections, our business won't grow.
Right. Well, I always want this job, because this is my full-time job. This is what I do. So I want this to be fun for me. I want to show up every day. So I find the areas that I can, like, some people really thrive in groups and joining groups, and that's where you find your people. I personally like to create. Now, this is where, like, I have gotten into this mental thing. Heart surgery came for me, it was a more mental aspect than it was physical, and I wasn't prepared for that. That's why it's taken me a little while to get back, and I stopped doing the things that I love, which is content creation. Like, I grew really big on TikTok for a while. And I brought those people over to Facebook, because that's where I posted about Thrive. So they get that Thrive drip on my Facebook or Instagram. I'm just kind of getting into Instagram. It's still a very foreign place for me, but Reels is there now. So video content is my jam. So yeah, I just focus on, that's personally what I do. I know that this is not something that everybody is comfortable doing, or you really thrive in groups and adding from there and having conversations, and doing all that in groups, which I still do. I still do that too. But I really like to just get myself out there and sharing my story, making funny videos, adding value to people's lives in some way, whether it's like making people laugh or sharing like relatability from parenting or from my addiction and recovery. I like to create content and grow like a follower base that way, and have conversations through like my comment section, and then send people friend requests that way, or through Instagram or TikTok. TikTok and Facebook are where I grow the most. But I have that's what it's called. I don't like to call it a fan page on Facebook for my addiction and recovery journey. I don't share about Thrive, because obviously we can't have business pages. for Thrive. So I don't talk about Thrive over there, but I share other things, my life and my struggles and how I overcome those struggles, and then bring people to my personal Facebook page where they get they get to see me do my 3 steps and my stories every day. Or, if I'm bringing somebody on a live and they're sharing their story, I just grow in other platforms and bring people over to Facebook. That's personally what I do. So yeah. That's what I do.
No, I do the same thing. Like most of mine is belly to belly, but that's just where I meet people. I grow the relationship on Facebook. So my goal is, meet 3 new people while I'm out today and get them added to Facebook. It doesn't have to do with Thrive. It's just meeting new people in one way, shape, or form. And then the relationship grows that way. So I just love hearing about the different ways that people do it and how you kind of like do the TikTok thing. And then now, hey, come over to my Facebook. And that's where people learn more about you. You grab their attention through those reels and, videos and stuff like that, which I think is so huge. And if people in 2022 are making it one of their goals to get real and get doing lives, like that is where it's at. It's pulling people in, just like you said, with other things like comedy, like your story, like just things that you have going on in your life outside of Thrive, or those things that make you. You're pulling them in, and then the relationship is building that way. And that's how it should be done. I mean, there's not many people that are going to be able to go make a reel about Thrive and 5 billion people are going to join them. Most people are going to run the other way. It's kind of done the other way. And as soon as people can start to grasp that it's not about going out, stepping outside of your door every day and thinking, who can I share Thrive with? It's who can I share me with? Who can I relate to? How
many friends can I make today?
Yeah, exactly. So the new year is coming, and we literally are a month and a couple of days out before January 1st hits. And I mean, those people that are on the Zoom, if you've never been here through our busy season, January is kind of where the ball starts rolling. And then February, March, April, May, those are big months. And I always say everything you do now, how you end your year is how you begin your year. To end this out, what are some tips that you have for everybody that they should do in December to prepare for January?
So I am personally not, I mean, of course, it's the holidays, you spending time with your family and all that. I'm not saying don't spend time with your family, but don't quit on your business either. Like, don't quit on your business. All right. So this is what I'm personally doing. I am trying to get as many experiences out the door as possible. Okay. Well, of course, like I'm sharing like gift ideas, even many experiences for gift ideas, or the skincare, or, different little things. I'm going to be doing that. But I am focusing on getting as many people on Thrive going into December as possible, because all those mini experiences, like the possibilities are endless going into the new year, right? Like Lisa said, it is our busy season. It's a new year, new me, new you kind of thing. But I also share in the month of December, like, don't wait until the new year. Don't wait for that. Like, you can start like on your health journey now. You can start on, you don't have to wait until the new year to feel better. Like, let's go ahead and get on it right now. But I'm focusing on growing my network, because when that busy season does hit in January, I have already focused on growing those relationships and having those conversations. And I do a lot of work on social media, because I'm at home with my daughter all day. I try to get out, but she's, like I said, a tiny terrorist. So we stay in the house a lot. So I do a lot of my network growing on social media. So I'm going to be focusing on getting organized and content planning and working smarter and not harder, and just growing my network and making as many new friends as I possibly can between now and the end of the year, and making sure that I am creating curiosity around these 3 steps as I'm growing my network, and new people are coming in to my Facebook page and seeing me do my 3 steps every day, or sharing, these are live events events that we're doing, or just showcasing a new customer or a new promoter that's joined in my stories or on my page, or I'm just focusing on all the things really. I'm not quitting in December. Like, this is go time, because as soon as Christmas is over and January hits and people are ready for new year, new me kind of thing, it's go time. Like, you have to prepare now. Don't wait until January hits, because even if you're not going to work this month and you're just waiting for the busy season to hit, like, nothing's going to happen, because you haven't done anything to prepare for it. Like, you haven't built any relationships, you haven't like created curiosity, you haven't got people on Thrive this month for them to, get ready to start in January. You don't stop. Of course, like, I'm not saying like, don't like go full force 100% and don't spend any time with your family. Time manage, get up earlier, get up an hour earlier before your kids do. That's what I do. My daughter wakes up at 6 o'clock every single freaking day. So I have to make sure that I wake up at like 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning, even if I have that extra hour in the morning to get myself together, and do some IPAs or whatever I need to do, or staying up an hour after she goes to bed. If this is important to you, then fit it in. Time manage, time block, 15-minute timers during the day when you have a second here and there. Fit your business in. If it's important to you, then make it important to you. Focus on your why. Like I said, focus on your why. Really dive deep into why you want this. Focus on how many people you're getting ready to help. Like, going into the new year, how many lives are you going to change? How many I always like, we get to change the course of somebody's entire life. Kayla Rose Oliver changed the entire course of my life. This is like a generational impact she has made for my family. And we get to do that for others. Like, it's that deep. It's that deep sometimes, So really ground yourself in that and just fucking do it.
I couldn't have ended this any better. Like, just do it. If this is important to you, you will make the time. If it's important to you, you're not going to slow down or stop working or check out just because it's the month of December. Like, you're just not. End of story, period. Mic drop. Like, that's it. Krista, I want to thank you so freaking much for doing this. And I mean, in the chat, you can look through, there's so many people that are like, I'm so glad I tuned in today and I needed to hear this. And so I totally appreciate you for messaging me, because man, without that, we wouldn't hear your story today. And that's why I am encouraging everybody on. If you've ever been 80 or 200K, come on, get in my inbox. Let's get you on the schedule for December or January. And let's let people hear your story. You don't know who is going to need to hear it to inspire them, to encourage them. Your story needs to be heard. So with that said, we just got paid, you guys, a couple minutes ago. So make sure you make your payday post today. Don't forget, there's somebody out there that needs to make an extra $1,320 in their pocket before Christmas. I promise you, there is a mom out there right now that is like, I would do anything to make a little extra cash to put some presents under my tree for Christmas. Do not underestimate the power of those VIP bonuses. And yes, happy payday, whatever your paycheck is, be grateful, because it's definitely more than the day you started, right? $10, whether it's $10 or 200 or 2,000, it's more than when you started. So be grateful. Thank you so much, Krista. You guys, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Same time, same place, same link, every single week. Share it, get your new people on. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. I hope you guys all have an amazing holiday with your families. Enjoy, and don't forget to put that treat meal in a bowl in the middle of your Thanksgiving table. You'll thank me later. Bye, guys.